Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Low Budget Review Show. I am your host, Eric Smith. And today I am talking about Goddess of Filth by V. Castro. And this is from a publisher that I can't read the tiny print, Creature Publishing. It's very, very tiny on the back. And I have poor eyesight. So this is not your daddy's or granddaddy's or grandmother's or mother's possession novel. We have 5 friends, and I apologize for anything I mispronounce, and most likely it's going to be Lourdes. I looked up how to pronounce it. I'm horrible at it. But we have Lourdes, Fernanda, Anna, Perla, and Pauline. And it's the summer before Fernanda's going off to college. They're having a sleepover. They decide to goof around with a little seance, and you know you shouldn't do that because something happens with Fernanda, and even though she seems to have recovered the next day, she starts acting real weird, and craziness ensues. That's your little nutshell. First of all, I love that cover. It is fantastic. We meet our 5 friends, and most of the story is in first person. Lourdes is telling us the story, but there are a number of chapters, a number of sections that go third person so that we can follow some other characters. Generally, it's either what's going on with Fernanda, or there is a priest or preacher character that we're going to get a little into that guy. So we meet our 5 friends. We learn a little bit about who each of them are. And they have this, they're just having fun. Their friend's going to be going off to college. They're not going to get to see her again. Or at least, not for a while. And so they have this little seance. And things go awry. And it gets really, really weird and freaky and spooky with Fernanda. But they decide, all right, we're going to wait. Things seem to have calmed down for a second. Let's just take a breather, see what happens tomorrow. Anna, Paulina, and Perla all go home. Lourdes is taking care of Fernanda. And it seems like the next morning that she's okay. But then some craziness starts to happen. And we learn very early on that Fernanda is possessed by something. So I'm not giving anything away. And so it becomes how are the people around Fernanda, how are they dealing with it? Fernanda's mother, very high strung, wants to call in. Well, first she thinks it's just the bad influence of Fernanda's friends, but then she realizes it's more than that, wants to call in some priests and such, and that doesn't work. And then there's some subplots I don't want to get into. And then there's a lot about being a young Mexican woman in Texas. I think this is in San Antonio, is where it takes place, or it could be Austin. It's in Texas. That's all I know. So there's a lot of character development, and Lourdes, especially when she's in her chapters, the sections where she's narrating, we get a true feeling, I think, because I'm just an old white guy, of the things that a young Mexican or Hispanic or Latina woman faces every day. The stereotyping, and she gets into Lourdes. Her mother works way too much. She's essentially helping to raise her sisters. People just expect that she's going to end up in a dead-end job and pregnant and this and that. She wants more for herself. She wants to break out, but expectations and just the way people see her and her friends weighs down on her, And I like this. I love this character development. I love seeing through the eyes of people that aren't me. And V. Castro does a wonderful job of doing this, of letting us get to know the characters, feel for the characters, not just the horror of what's going on with Fernanda, but some of the horror of just being the people that they are in the place that they are. And again, there's some other subplots, horrible things going on. And this is not, as I said, this isn't your typical possession story. It's not head spinning and puking green soup. It's, oof. What can I say? I don't want to spoil it because I'll tell you right now, I gave it 4 out of 5, I believe, on Goodreads. Would have gone 4.5 if that was an option. I highly recommend it. It's a very, very good book. It's a great story. There's some freaky stuff. Some of the subplots are really cool, really interesting. The characters are wonderful. And so where was I going with this? I lost my train of thought just sort of praising this. So it's not... Yeah, we're highly recommend it. It's not your typical possession story. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what I can say without spoiling it, because you should read it. I don't know. I don't want to give anything away. There's... trying to see if there's anything on the back that's going to help me out here. And I don't think it is. So yeah, I'm gonna have to stick with that. It is well written with wonderful and interesting characters, very interesting subplots that I'm not gonna tell you about. There's a couple, and it's definitely definitely a different type of possession story. Oh, there it is. San Antonio, Texas. 5 Chicanas living in San Antonio, Texas, 1 year out of high school. See, I sort of skipped that when I was looking at this. I was looking at the small print. Should have looked at the large print. But anyway, yeah, it's little tiny book. I love the spine. Ha! Pun. Love the cover. Fantastic. Highly recommended. I wish I could say more. I mean, I could. It's my channel. I can say whatever I want. I can tell you page by page. All right, I don't remember it that well, but I'm not going to, because you should read this. I will say I'm looking forward to more from V. Castro. She has a book, at least one book in the Rewind or Die series, so I'll be getting that soon, I think. I think it's pretty high up on the list. It's one of the earlier ones, and I've got the first 3 and some other random ones, but I'm now buying them in order. And she has a book, I think it's out now, from Flame Tree Press, that I'm absolutely going to get. She's got other stuff too, but those are the 2 main ones I know I'm absolutely getting at the earliest opportunity. So check out other stuff from V. Castro, but definitely check out this. Good stuff. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. This one was a little rambly, but I'm torn because I don't want to give anything away. And what else is there to say? Wonderful writing, wonderful characters, wonderful story. There you have it. So, yeah, that's Goddess of Filth by V. Castro. If you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put them in the comments below. This video's question for you, discussion question, is: do you enjoy possession stories? And if so, what is your favorite possession novel or movie? I will say, maybe to get the ball rolling, I wrote for a short-lived horror magazine, and the last article that I wrote was about possession novels. I think I had maybe 4 novels and a novella collection. I don't remember exactly how many. I probably have the document somewhere still. But then the issue never came out. I think they kept doing digital for a while, but I don't know if that particular article was ever printed. So I did get to read some pretty good possession books for that article, although I think I'd already read most of what I was going to talk about. And I will say I've never read The Exorcist. It's on my list, but I have not read it yet. All right. So yeah, comments. I already did all that. So please like, share, and subscribe. If you'd care to follow me on other social media, my Twitter is @Ronin5757. My Instagram, where I post pictures of books, games, comics, fuzzy animals, occasionally some other things, is Eric Smith 5757. That's Eric with a K, ERIKSMITH 5757. That's all I've got. This has been the Low Budget Review Show. I have been Eric Smith, and until next time, read more books.